And next to me there's Michael Silbermann, and we can talk about payment solutions for the media industry, so about paywalls and everything else in terms of payment for media. So I think in the meanwhile people are trained to pay for content, right?
Yes, there's no question that Netflix, Spotify, Amazon have sort of softened the ground for payments in media products. And we've certainly seen over the past few years, if you look at, say, the Reuters Institute report that they've been doing, I think now for 9-10 years, something like that, looking at the sort of payment trends overall and attitudes towards payment, we've seen that sort of steadily grow. And that's created a great opportunity for media companies. The one thing that I would say is we think about it not simply as that moment of payment and the sort of payment technology. It's all of the things that happen before you even get to that point, to develop a relationship with the user, to build that sort of trust and engagement and the sort of deep connection to the media brand that makes them ready to pay when the moment comes.
So the whole journey before.
Exactly. No, there is absolutely a journey before that starts from the moment that they land on that website, and maybe they don't even know where they are. They might have come from a link in social or search, and so starting to introduce them to the brand and get them to know sort of what that media site does beyond just the one article that they found, to get them to take the next step and even come back.
Okay, so but there's different alternatives to reach that goal. So we see subscription models. We see pay-per-content models. We see also freemium, like in the gaming industry, where you start with a free trial and then you pay for little snips and snippets and things like that. So what works best from your point of view?
So we actually like the freemium model the best. The idea that you can build up an audience based around some content that's available to everybody, and then some content that's only available to paying customers. There are a few reasons we like that. Number one, media sites succeed in developing a subscription model when they think deeply about the audience and what the audience values about their content, and create something that is exclusive and can only be gotten there and has real value for that audience. If you simply put up a meter and say, we're going to do it based on how many pages you've read, then you don't do that exercise. You're not forced to sort of think deeply about what is it that I should make that this audience that I've got is really going to value and be willing to pay me for. So that's a really important part of the process of succeeding in media subscriptions. Freemium forces you to do that. You can't just sort of put up a wall and then do it based on their behavior. You actually have to sell those sets of articles, that sort of more valuable, more expensive content to them, and so you need to think about what that is. The other thing is, it gives you great signals about what's working and what isn't. So every single article that converts some crop of users tells you something about what they're willing to pay for, and so you can get smarter over time about what you make and what, say, is free and what things are paid.
But sounds like you need a lot of low conversions on your website to get the first users through the registration process, through the basic payment process, to train them how to pay before they pay.
Well, yeah, so first you want them to, say, turn off their ad blocker. So that's a sort of a relatively easy conversion. It's like, hey, we need to sell ads and show ads in order to make money to run this website, so please turn off your ad blocker. That's a sort of easy conversion that you can convert 20 to 30% of the people that come with an ad blocker if you do it the right way. And those users end up actually usually viewing more pages, viewing more articles after they turn off their ad blocker than before. So they become more invested in the website. Then you could say, all right, you have come back 5 times and you keep reading sports articles, so you should really sign up for our sports newsletter, because we'll put it in your inbox every day and send you personalized sports news.
When I talk to people who build websites, I always talk to them, why do you build forms that look like an immigration form with a low motivation,
yes,
but so high boundaries to subscribe and to register? And why do we still see registration processes on publishing houses and websites that still look like a mess.
No, you need to make it really, really simple and fast. We actually are about to launch a new feature, which is instant payment through biometrics. So for somebody with an iPhone, you can just pay with your face, pay with your thumbprint, and you don't even have to enter any information at all. We sort of get your email from, you give permission to get your email from Apple, that comes through automatically. We just instantly pay, like stepping up to a newsstand and throwing down €1.
We had one guest here today. He's from a French publication, and they have just payment articles, so no free stuff on the website. They make investigation journalistic articles, and they say we have just subscribers, nothing else, and we don't need any data because we don't want the data, because it's about our privacy situation. And so that's a totally different situation. So what's your point of view from your perspective of the business model to that?
It depends on the website. So that's a great business model if you have the right content that's highly valuable, that users really want and are willing to also pay for sort of sight unseen. I assume they have some sort of sampling opportunity, like a free trial at the beginning or some way to sort of give people a taste of that content before they're willing to buy, because usually you have to have some way to know, is it worth it or not? But that's a great business model. Most media companies have a hybrid business model between ads and subscriptions, and frequently it is the ad side that wants all those forms, all those fields filled out about who you are and how old you are and what your occupation is. If you can do that in a way that's maybe a little bit more gradual and respects the user and sort of explains to them why you're asking for that information instead of sort of bombarding with them at the very beginning, then you can reduce friction at the moment that you want them to pay while still slowly collecting that information over time. But you also need to sort of be transparent with them about why you're collecting that information and make sure that they understand what they're sort of getting in return.
On some newspaper websites, it's getting quite easy to subscribe, quite easy to register. One perfect example is the New York Times, but it's quite hard to quit and pause the subscription. So, my question is, when we talk about trust and a loyal customer, shouldn't it be that easy to pause and come again? So if you once stopped your subscription you have to call them.
Pausing is a great feature. And yes, we generally believe you should make it easy to leave if you want to leave, but to have lots of reasons to stay. So sort of do a great job of bringing them on board, telling them all the benefits that they get of the subscription, reminding them about that, and making sure that they know the value that they're getting and that you're sort of constantly reminding them about that and that they actually are using the product. But if they're not using the product, then why would you want them to stay?
But I think isn't it a combination of having a heritage business model? Like we force them to stay for decades.
Yeah.
We don't measure how much they read. And now online, we still force them to stay. Maybe we don't look at the stats right now, how much they read, how long the article has been read. So how easy is it for you to change their minds?
It's primarily, you're talking about the user or you're talking about the
users.
publisher?
No, never change a user's mind. So go with the user. But how do you change the publisher's mind?
The publisher's mind. If they're set on making it hard to cancel, there's kind of nothing we can do. Our philosophy is we want to support them in the sort of business model that they want to follow. We'll recommend best practices, and certainly making it easier to cancel is a fundamental best practice. But some want that chance to have a conversation with you and sort of convince you to stay. The other thing that we've seen, there are some websites that have done a very good job with making it easy to cancel, but then in the process of canceling, sort of giving you reasons to not cancel. So, say, pausing your subscription or showing you the benefits that you're going to lose if you stop subscribing. And then if you do decide to cancel anyway, then trying to get you back and give you reasons to come back.
Perfect. I think there are many, many ways to get the subscription business, to get the paper content business, and your favorite one is the freemium model? You just told me?
We do think that's a great one.
Perfect. Michael Silbermann, thanks for being here.
My pleasure.